I had the dream again. The fire was crackling like it used to on those summer camping trips, back when we were still pretending we weren't kids anymore, back when we thought we had time. Theo was passing around that half-burnt bag of marshmallows, laughing about how I always managed to burn mine black on purpose. May had her flashlight under her chin, telling that ghost story she never quite finished. Everything felt right. But then I heard it. A car, tires on wet pavement, that smooth glide, the hush of rubber rolling over road, the splash of puddles. Familiar, comforting, and impossible. I told them I knew I was dreaming. I didn't whisper it. I just said it. Wait, is that a car? Driving in the rain? That doesn't make sense. I haven't heard that sound in years. I haven't seen you since then either. They went quiet. All of them. Still smiling. But too still. Too quiet. Theo reached out, asked me to stay. Said they missed me. Of course they did. They were never the ones who had to wake up. I don't even remember choosing to leave the dream. It just cracked. The firelight went out, and I woke up cold again. I'm in that trailer parked under the dead pine ridge, floors still damp, my gear's all dry now at least, no new leaks, nothing out of place, still just me. I haven't seen another real person in 11 days. That's a new record. Sometimes I think about staying in those dreams, not because they're better, but because I forget I'm alone in them. And forgetting feels nice. But the sound always gives it away, the way the rain used to sound, the way the world used to sound. And now, everything is just quiet. It's been a few days since I left the trailer. Tonight, I found an alley, abandoned, quiet, just me and the fire. Then, I ran into the dog. It was starving, skin stretched tight over its bones, eyes wide and too empty. I tried to scare it off, threw a few stones, but it came for me, desperate. I had no choice. My knife, it did what it had to. It was self-defense. But the way it went limp in my hands, it doesn't sit right. It wasn't human. Animals were never meant to turn like this. I should have known that. But I still feel it. I did that. Not to survive, but because I had to. I didn't want to kill it, but I couldn't let it kill me either. I keep hearing its breath in the dark. Tomorrow, I'll leave again. I'll keep moving, keep running. The weight of this world, it keeps pressing down harder. I saw smoke today. Thin line rising over the rooftops in the distance, controlled, not a wildfire. Someone's alive out there. I didn't go toward it, not yet. Old me would have run straight in, hopeful. New me knows better. People mean danger, or disappointment, usually both. Still, I circled around, climbed a rusted-out water tower, watched from above until the sun dipped low. Someone had a fire going in a scrap-dense lot, tucked behind an old mechanic's shop. Didn't see anyone, just the glow. I left before it got dark, backtracked a few blocks and holed up in a hollowed laundromat. No windows, just mold and silence. I'm not sure what I'm more afraid of, that the people by the fire are bad, or that they're not, and I'll start to hope again. Hope is heavy. I've carried it before. I'm not sure I can carry it again. I've been seeing the smoke every night now, just a thin line, curling up against the twilight like a thread someone forgot to tie off. It's always in the same place, distant, steady, deliberate. That's what gets me. It's not the shape of panic or some careless spark. Someone's there, building fires on purpose, living. I've decided to head toward it. It'll take a few days, maybe more, depending on what the road throws at me. But I can't keep sitting around pretending like it means nothing. I keep telling myself I'm better off alone, safer, quieter, but I still watch the smoke like it's whispering something I'm not ready to hear. Maybe it's a trap. Maybe it's a story I'm making up to keep myself moving. I don't know what I'm hoping to find. A place to sleep without one eye open? A reason to believe people still make campfires because they want warmth, Not to burn something down? I haven't even met anyone in weeks. Just passed their leftovers, torn up clothes, broken shoes, names scratched into overpasses. If there's someone alive up there, making that smoke, I need to know what kind of person chooses to be seen. I'll head out at first light. Whatever's waiting, I'll face it on my feet. I think I'm about halfway there. The smoke's still rising in the same spot, steady as ever. I've been walking for 5 days now, pacing myself, sticking to shade where I can, moving when the wind's in my favor. Tonight, I've made camp by a stream. It's not much, but the sound of running water has a way of softening things. I almost forgot how much I missed that. Earlier today, I heard people. A group of scavengers, I think. I never saw them, but I could hear their voices carrying through the broken trees, laughing, teasing each other, making noise like they'd never had to be quiet. They didn't sound dangerous, just careless, like the world hadn't ended for them, or like they were pretending it hadn't. I avoided them, of course. People like that draw trouble, the kind of loud that gets you noticed, or worse. Still, I'd be lying if I said it didn't sound nice. That kind of warmth in their voices, that ease. It's been a long time since I heard anyone talk like that. Longer still since I talked that way myself. It gets lonely. I don't let myself admit that often, but it's true. I think that's part of why I'm heading toward the smoke, not just for safety or food or a bed, but because maybe there's someone there who remembers how to speak in voices like that. I'll try to sleep soon. I think I'll feel better after a full night's rest. Or maybe just a dream where the world still made sense. 3 more days and I finally see it. The source of the smoke. It's not just a trick of the wind anymore. There's a camp nestled in the hills, half hidden behind overgrowth and old stone ruins. It's hard to get a full view from here, but I saw greenhouses, solar panels, people moving around. Not many, but enough. I'm so close I can smell their cook fires. I'm down to half a bottle of water, 1 ration bar, and whatever mushrooms I picked up 2 days ago. I should be desperate. Maybe I am. But rushing in feels stupid. Feels like something the old world me would have done. She got people killed, so I'm staying put for now. I found a decent hiding spot up on a ridge, tucked between a collapsed fence and an old billboard frame. Good vantage point. I'll watch for the next 2 nights. See what kind of people they are, how they move, who's in charge. I need to know if they're the kind that welcomes strangers, or shoots them on sight. It's been 2 nights. I've watched them long enough to feel something. Safety, maybe, but it's been so long since I've last felt safe that I'm not sure. There's music sometimes, soft, like wind chimes and old guitars. Laughter, too. They sit around campfires at night, pass food, maybe stories. It reminds me of those hippie camps from the old movies. Then again, I guess all movies are old now. They don't carry guns the way raiders do. There's a rhythm to the way they live, like they've built their own little world out here, just far enough away from the wreckage. I think I can approach them. I hope I can. My supplies are gone. I finished the last of the water this morning, and the ration bar yesterday. I'm not in crisis yet, but I will be soon. I don't want to show up looking desperate, but that's exactly what I am. Still, I didn't go tonight. Didn't seem right, stumbling into someone's sanctuary in the dark. They'd probably think I was a threat. I would. So I'll wait. 1 more night in the dirt with the bugs and the cold. Then tomorrow, first thing, when they start their daily routine, I'll climb down from this hill and see what kind of world they've built, and if there's a place in it for me. I made contact. First light came, and I walked into the camp slow, hands visible, pack slung low so they could see I wasn't hiding anything. A few people spotted me right away. One of them raised a hand, didn't wave, just greeted me with calm. That helped more than I expected. Turns out the place really is a settlement. They've got tents, tarps, a few gutted RVs with working stoves and solar rigs. Some parts are scrappy, patched with mismatched cloth and hope, but they've built something here. It's not a fortress. It's a home. The people in charge, well, in charge feels like the wrong word. It's an older couple. She's got the kind of voice you listen to without meaning to, warm and slow like old honey. He's tall, maybe ex-military, or just carried himself like it once mattered, quiet, observant. When they spoke, people listened, but not out of fear. That's rare now. They asked me my name, what I could offer. I told them the truth. Back in the old world, I worked in tech, ran data for a logistics company, but I also studied culinary arts before all that. Strange combo, I know. Still, they nodded, said there might be room for someone like me, told me to rest, eat, settle in for the night, that we could talk more tomorrow. But I didn't sit still. I helped cook. It wasn't much, just chopping, sorting, keeping the fire going, but it felt good to do something, to not be on the outside looking in. Dinner was a stew, made with whatever odds and ends they had growing and trading. I don't know what half the herbs were, but it was warm, earthy, a little spicy. It was the best thing I've eaten since the world fell apart. I almost cried into the bowl, but I didn't. Maybe next time. They've given me a small tent near the edge of the camp, still close enough to feel part of it. Not close enough that I can't slip out if things go wrong. But I don't think they will. Not tonight. Morning came with the smell of wood smoke and sage. Someone was already cooking when I unzipped the tent. Oats and something sweet. Not exactly gourmet, but after so many nights of jerky and silence, it tasted like home. The couple, Nina and Tom, met me by the main fire after breakfast. They didn't waste time. Nina told me I was welcome to stay for now, but that I'd be watched. Not with suspicion, exactly, more like caution. "We've all lost too much," she said. "We protect each other here. That comes first." I told her I understood. And I do. Tom made it simple. Pull your weight, be kind, and don't bring trouble through the gates. There aren't many rules, but the ones they have feel written in something deeper than ink. After that, a man named Conrad showed me around. They've got a water collection system made from old gutters and tanks, solar panels rigged to power a few lights and radios, a makeshift greenhouse built from scavenged windows. It's scrappy, but it works. There was a man standing watch outside the greenhouse, quiet, still, armed. I didn't ask why. I've learned not to poke at things that hum with rules unspoken. He's also the only one I've seen carrying a weapon in plain sight. That alone says enough. People here smile when they pass each other. They tease and hum while working, even while hauling buckets or turning compost. It's quiet, but it's alive. No one asked much about my past. That was maybe the kindest thing they could have done. I spent the rest of the day helping in the kitchen again. It's easy work, familiar. Maybe that's why I keep gravitating toward it. Nina said we'll talk more tomorrow about long-term roles, but she smiled when she said it. It didn't feel like a test. There's still part of me that wants to sleep with one boot on and a knife under the pillow. Old habits. But something in me is starting to soften, just a little. I hope that's not a mistake. It's been a few days now. I'm starting to fall into a rhythm. Morning comes, I stretch out the stiffness, help with whatever's needed around the camp, and then I head out with Conrad to scavenge. Most people go in groups of 4. I guess it's safer. More eyes, more hands. But I don't want that. Not yet. Maybe not ever. I told Nina I'd prefer smaller groups. She nodded like she understood, didn't push it. So it's just me and Conrad. The walks are quiet. He's not much of a talker, and I don't mind that. We work well in silence. Sometimes we find old cans of food, tools worth trading, or tarps that haven't rotted through. Once, a garden gnome. Conrad tucked it into his pack without a word. I'm not sure if it was for a joke or something else. He never said. I didn't ask. I've caught him watching me a few times. Not suspiciously, more like he's measuring something, judging maybe. I assume it's for Tom and Nina's sake. If I were in their shoes, I'd want someone keeping an eye too. It's fine. I don't plan on causing problems. I haven't talked much to anyone else. People have been kind, but I still keep my distance. There's a rhythm here, a way of being. I'm not sure if I fit into it yet. but I'm trying. The walking helps. There's something about it, step after step, mile after mile, that settles my thoughts. It's been almost a month now. I didn't plan on staying this long, but here I am, still breathing, still walking the same paths, still sleeping in the same spot every night. I wouldn't say I have friends. That word feels too big, too warm. But I've found a rhythm with people, like coworkers, teammates. We nod when we pass. We know how to move around each other. It works. I'm on scavenging duty with Conrad and rotate with a few other squads. It's strange how fast routine settles into your bones, even after the world breaks. Wake up, prep, head out, search, gather, haul it back, eat, sleep, repeat. The scavengers tend to stick together. Meals, rest, off hours, they always invite me. It's not out of obligation, they actually mean it. But I still keep a little distance. I eat nearby, not with them. I laugh at the jokes, but I don't tell any. I don't know why. Or maybe I do. When I'm not on duty, I help cook and tend to the smaller plants growing in the planters and beds. I've always liked working with food. There's something calming about it, creating order, giving comfort, even if it's just a stew or roasted roots. But the greenhouse? I've never been inside. No one's told me I can't go in, but no one's told me I can either. There's always someone stationed by the door, usually the same man, always armed. He doesn't talk much, just nods when people walk by, watches everything. Tom and Nina invited me into their tent tonight. Just me, just dinner. They said it was to mark my first full month here. I hadn't realized it had been that long. Time's gotten slippery. Their tent's warmer than the others. Candles, blankets, a little shelf of old books. Nina had cooked something special, made with actual seasoning. I don't know where she found the spices, but it was the kind of meal people used to make when they cared about more than just surviving. She said it was a recipe from her childhood. I didn't ask further. Some memories are better left unspoken. They didn't press me for stories, just asked how I was feeling, how I was settling in. Tom told me I've been doing good work, that the others trust me. I nodded, didn't know what to say. I'm not used to praise that doesn't come with strings. We talked about nothing and everything. Nina asked what I used to cook before all this. I told her about culinary school and burning risotto on the first day. She laughed, not at me, but with me. Tom shared a story about learning to garden by trial and error. Said he nearly poisoned himself once misidentifying a plant. Everyone starts somewhere, he said. They didn't make me feel like a guest. They made me feel like someone who belonged, for a night at least. I think I'm starting to understand why everyone respects Tom and Nina so much. Half the scavengers, including me, have been sick the last few days. The usual stuff, vomiting, splitting headaches, bone-deep fatigue. Nothing alarming by old world standards. But here, illness spreads fast, and recovery isn't a guarantee. A cold could take out a whole community if you're not careful. Tom and Nina have been tending to us like worried parents, making broths, checking in constantly, always nearby with a damp cloth or a quiet word. I feel guilty letting them fuss over me. They already give so much of themselves to this place, but they won't be told no, not when someone needs help. The worst part of all this? With so many of us down, scavenging's slowed to a crawl. Supplies are thinning out. Meals are smaller, thinner. Less talk at dinner. Everyone feels it. Conrad and a few of his usuals went out to try and make up the difference. They've come back nearly empty-handed every time. At first, I figured it was just bad luck. Someone beat them to it, or nothing good was left. But I've worked with Conrad long enough to know he doesn't come back empty unless there's a reason. He's too methodical, too stubborn, and he hasn't looked me in the eye since the second trip. Something's going on. Still, not much I can do about it from bed. I'm finally on the mend. Hopefully I'll be back on my feet by the end of the week. First thing I plan on doing is finding a way to show Tom and Nina how much I appreciate them caring for me. I'm also nearly out of space in this notebook. I'll have to keep an eye out for another one while scavenging. I feel better today. First time I've woken up without that ache behind my eyes or the weight in my chest. The air felt cool and clear when I stepped outside the tent, like the world was finally letting me breathe again. I left early. Didn't want to wake anyone, but I also didn't want to worry them. So I tore out the second-to-last sheet of this notebook and wrote a quick note. Feeling better. Went scavenging. Will be back. It felt strange leaving part of this behind, but kindness matters more than personal comfort. That's what Dad used to say anyway. I wasn't just looking for the usual. Cans, batteries, bandages. I wanted to find something to say thank you. Tom and Nina, they kept us all together through this. They didn't just nurse us back to health, they made us feel cared for. For Nina, I found a small stash of spices, tucked in the back of an old kitchen cupboard, long forgotten. The labels were faded, but I could smell cinnamon, rosemary, maybe even cumin. It reminded me of her cooking, how she always manages to make camp food taste like a memory. For Tom, a lighter, silver, old-school Zippo style with TN engraved on the side. Someone's initials once, I'm sure, but now it feels like it was waiting for him. He lit it once when I gave it to him. Flame flickered steady, bright in the morning shade. He smiled, just a little. I didn't find a new journal. So this is it. Last page. The gifts weren't much, but they meant something. And judging by the looks on their faces, they understood that. They also seemed stunned at how much I brought back. My pack was nearly full, found an old storage closet that hadn't been picked over. Luck or instinct, I don't know. They tried to thank me. I tried to thank them. It all felt a little messy. But that's okay. Gratitude doesn't always come out neat. I'll keep an eye out for another notebook next time I'm out. Until then, I guess I just live,